What is the most important element for continued survival of mankind on planet Earth? What is that one element without which you cannot live even for a day? You cannot cook your food, you cannot wash your clothes, drive your car, you cannot even sleep without that thing. What is it? Well, it has to be energy, rather a constant, a reliable supply of energy, the heat, if you will. That is what keeps humans alive and kicking, whether it's in sub zero temperatures or sweltering summers, whether it's in the jungles or in concrete jungles. Energy is what human civilization uh, keeps just energy is what uh, keeps human civilization just thriving, and that is why we just hail Prometheus, who supposedly stole the fire from Olympian gods and gave it to humankind. It's a beautiful story. I ask you to read that story and think again and again about the importance of energy in our lives, especially in this modern world that is quite energy consumption intensive. You cannot live literally even for a second without this steady supply of energy, whether it's in the form of electricity, it's in the form of sunlight, uh, biofuels, petrol, diesel, kerosene, coal, and whatnot. So the countries, what their names, are busy securing the sources of energy to ensure a sustained growth, to make sure that they continue on that road to progress and prosperity. And that is what brings S. Jaishankar, India's foreign minister and ace diplomat, to this country, to Nepal. Interesting, isn't it? There is this talk about India achieving unprecedented progress and prosperity in the coming years, but that won't be possible unless India has that steady supply of energy, cheap, sustainable, and green energy. What can that be if not the hydroelectricity? Let's talk about that. Let's talk a bit about Nepal's generational capacity, hydropower generation capacity, and how we have been failing to cash in on that potential energy, to tap into that energy, to switch from dirty fuels like diesel, kerosene, petrol, and even coal to that green energy to empower our economy, to bring progress and prosperity by harnessing the energy that is latent in our rivers and streams. Let's talk about that. Let's put Jaisankar's Nepal visit in that context today. For quite some time, our bureaucracy, our political leadership has been selling this dream to the Nepali public. It has been stating that it plans to achieve progress and prosperity by generating hydropower and selling it to mainly to India. But several scholars point out that it's this sale this sale of raw energy does not bring much benefits to the seller. You maximize the benefits of that green energy by ensuring the maximum consumption of that energy within the country. But the leadership and the bureaucracy, as visionless as it can be, has been selling this dream of selling thousands of megawatts of hydroelectricity to India and beyond. And that is the topic for discussion today. Nepal has this, it had this lofty plan. It has this come up with this lofty plans to generate more than 10,000 megawatts in as many in 10 years. It plans to sell that much of power to the nearby market, that is India, that to for kind of a pittance. Let's look at Nepal's energy sector scenario at this point in time. Nepal has been, the political leadership and bureaucracy have been just promising to generate and sell 10,000 megawatts of green energy to India, to Bangladesh, and other countries. But looking at the real picture, you get a different picture altogether. I have done a cursory research on this topic and have come to the conclusion, based on those media reports, that the Indian companies have already bagged projects totaling around 5,000 megawatts out of that 10,000 megawatt mark. They have already bagged uh, those some of those lucrative projects. So there is not much for Nepal to maneuver. There is not much in store for the Nepali companies. The Indian entities, as you know, they have this ready access to the corridors of power. They just can make the political leadership and the bureaucracy dance to their tunes, literally. So, uh, a couple of companies are just already there. Take, for example, the GMR, the Indian company that has been holding on to the lucrative Upper Karnali project for decades. The influential Indian companies have bagged in Nepal hydels totaling 4,649 megawatts already. I have made a list of these companies and I'll just make a presentation on that list, based on that list. So I ask you to keep listening to this presentation, also to subscribe to this channel, comment on our presentation, and press that like button if the presentation touches your hearts and minds. I want this presentation to be a thought provoking one. So just keep listening and keep watching. Among the Indian companies, Satlaj Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited, it's a state-owned entity. It has it has been developing the 900 megawatt Arun-III hydropower project, a lucrative project based in Sankwa Sabha district. Originally, Nepal was supposed to develop that project for domestic consumption, but things did not move as planned. It's a peaking run of the river project, and it's based in Sankwa Sabha district, uh, in the eastern region of Nepal, in the Kosi province, that is. So this Arun is part of that Kosi river system. It's part of the Kosi basin, and India has its eyes on the entire basin. There is another project that SAVN is developing with the state-owned, Nepal's state-owned entity, that is the Nepal Electricity Authority. This is the Arun-IV project with a generation capacity of 490 megawatt. It is also based in Sankwa Sabha district, and it's a conventional storage type project. Then comes another project, that is the Lower Arun, with this installed capacity of 679 megawatts. It is based in Sankwa Sabha and Bhojpur district, and it is a peaking run of the river project. The same company, Satlaj Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited, is developing this project. Then comes another Indian entity. I think it is also a government entity. It's a government entity. Remember, India regards energy as well as water resources as like topics of strategic importance. So it is very sensitive about securing its interests, energy and water interests in the neighborhood and beyond. I was talking about NHPC Limited's forays into Nepal, presence in Nepal, if you will. It is developing West Cheti hydropower project, multi-purpose project based in Sudur Paschim province in far western Nepal. It's a 750 megawatt project. The project is based in the project location is in Dareldhura, Doti, Acham, Baitadi, and Bazhang district in the far western region, and it's a reservoir based project. Then comes another NHPC project, another lucrative project that NHPC Limited has bagged, that is Seti River 6. It's a 450 megawatt project based on the West Seti Basin, and it is also located in far western districts. It's a cascade type project, and it has this capacity of, as I told you earlier, I guess it has the Seti River 6 has the generation capacity of 450 megawatts. The list goes on. Uh, NHPC is also developing the Phukot Karnali project. It's a 480 megawatt project on the Karnali Basin. It is located in Kalikot district in Karnali, and it is also a peaking run of the river project. Then comes a mighty player, a very influential player in the hydropower sector of Nepal, that is GMR. You may have heard the name of this company time and time again when it comes to Upper Karnali controversies. This company, this Indian company, is developing a 900 megawatt Upper Karnali project. The project site is located in Surkhet, Assam, and Dailek districts, and this is also a peaking run of the river project. This project has suffered delays of years, like despite several controversies, the GMR has been holding on to this project. In a way, this has been one of the regions Nepal's stalling the development of Nepal's hydropower potential. Companies using their political clout to just hold on to the projects despite their proven inability to develop those projects. But these are like not the only cases. There are several Indian companies, they have interests in other lucrative projects. Take, for example, the Budhi Gandaki, the storage type Tamur project. It is also on the Kosi River basin. It's a 756 megawatt project. Indian companies have deep entrenched interest in this project also, apart from Upper Arun, which is a 1061 megawatt project, Budigandaki project, that is a 1200 megawatt storage type project, and the Karnali Chisapani project, a very ambitious project with the total capacity of 10,800 megawatts. Uh, these projects are quite lucrative, and several powerful interests want to back these projects, and they include some of the Indian companies as well. Nepal has a subservient political leadership and a very subservient bureaucracy, and that is, these organs of the state are more than willing to play to the tunes of the powerful players, and India is one of those powerful players in Nepal. The political leadership and the bureaucracy cannot say no to Indian offers, even if they go against Nepal's national interest. This final agreement on uh, importing 10,000 megawatts of electricity from Nepal is expected to be signed at a ceremony at a secretary level meeting in Chitwan district. This important meeting is not taking place in the north center of Kathmandu. It is this crucial meeting is taking place in a faraway Chitwan, which is far from the federal capital of the country, that is Kathmandu. why Chitwan was chosen as a venue for that meeting. Maybe to avoid that media glare. And who knows, that meeting may end up giving away one more lucrative project, one more attractive project to India. You never know. I'm saying this also because there is this environment of distrust when it comes to relations with India. Successive political leadership of Nepal have played into the Indian designs and handed over uh, mighty river systems, mighty rivers like the Kosi uh, mm, River, the Gandaki River, and the Mahakali River through very controversial deals. They have sold the country down the river through those deals. What this meeting, what this engagement in Kathmandu and Chitwan gives Nepal is it gives Nepal an opportunity to correct those historical wrongs, to seek justice for Nepal, to seek reparations for this loss of water sovereignty over Nepal's rivers. But the political leadership and the bureaucracy, short sighted as ever, is unlikely to just move in that direction. Instead, it is most likely to ink more controversial uh, deals over rivers and sell the country down the river once again. I ask you, ask the people to be aware of this impending move. I ask the people to protest against any unjust deals that Nepal may be forced into signing. With this remark, I wrap up this edition of Soft Talk. I request you to stay aware, step up your vigil, and just raise your voice in the interest of Nepal and successive generations of Nepalese to come. Mind you, this is not a rhetoric against any country, but it's a voice in the interest of Nepal and the Nepalese. And I ask the audience to take it that way. With this remark, I wrap up this edition of Soft Talk. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.